Semi-final number 2 about set to get underway in just about 9 minutes here from Bulldog Arena. We are so glad you are tuned in, whether you're joining us for the first time here this Friday night, or if you are rolling over from what was one of the best postseason semifinal matches we've seen in quite some time. Finley outlasts Grand Valley State in 3-2 fashion. How incredible was that win for Finley? First time they've ever reached a Midwest Regional Final ever at the Division II level. Coach Kolchakov did an amazing job. Grand Valley had a fantastic season. Finley just outlasted them in the 5th set, and they're moving on to play the winner of the match we got coming in front of us in just about 8 minutes. The number 4 seed, Lewis Flyers, 23-10 on the season, fresh off their 3rd victory of the year against the Rockhurst Hawks yesterday in the quarterfinal round. And they will have the privilege and honor to play the number 1 team in the nation, the number 1 Midwest Region seed in Ferris State. Brandon Worth, Ryan Pelon joining us here. It's been an eventful day here in Big Rapids, here in Bulldog Arena. Some high-flying action. We're only halfway through as the Bulldogs and Flyers will meet once again. And boy, this is going to be a tale of 2 great teams, just similar to the one semifinal we saw not too long ago.
Yeah, and I was happy to see it get with in that Grand Valley match, kind of not as many errors as we saw in the games yesterday, all 4 of those games. I would definitely think there was a good amount of errors, definitely in that Lewis versus Rockhurst game. Like we talked about with the service errors, there were, I don't know, what was it, 26 of them or something in Lewis versus Rockhurst. So maybe they were just trying to get around those first game jitters in this tournament. So good to see in the Grand Valley game that things were a lot cleaner, things were a lot closer, and we got the privilege to see a nice 5-set victory with Finley taking the win. But yeah, definitely here tonight with Ferris State versus the Flyers. We saw the Flyers yesterday high flying, to insert a pun there, but Ferris State was definitely very strong as well, coming off with a great 3-set win.
The Bulldogs are back in the building, as you can hear the roar from the crowd here on hand. This is going to be a great matchup between 2 top-class programs to do battle here tonight in semifinal number 2. Let's take a look at these 2 teams, where they stand. Ferris State obviously beating UMSL, the 8 seed, in straight sets to reach this semifinal matchup. And they really had struggles with 12 service errors, something we talked about in the Lewis and Rockhurst quarterfinal last night, Ryan. Both teams struggling at the service. Ferris State especially struggled more than their season average in terms of errors, but efficient swings has been the name of the game, making the most out of every swing, perfect placement, perfect IQ plays, whether it's a hard attack to the corner or a soft finesse attack over the top of the blockers. They were great. 34.7 conversion percentage yesterday. For Lewis, they really did a great job of using their defense. They're 13th of the nation blocks per set as a team. That's something they're going to need to really counteract that high-powered offense. They're going to need to see that consistently. We saw in spurts last night against Rockhurst, but they let them hang around. They got to be 110 with the defense. They got to make big plays if they're going to want a chance to pull off another upset.
Ferris State has always been such a dual threat in every single one of their matchups, whether they're winning 3-2 or 3-0. It's always having the offense and the defense rolling at all times, and many times we've also seen them be very strong with their special teams. So hopefully Lewis can come in to today, reduce those errors around that special teams area. And I like what you said for Lewis, getting the blocking going, and the defense definitely needs to be strong against a Ferris State team, because we know Ferris State is going to be really strong with the blocking and the defense, but we absolutely know that the offense is going to be high-powered. So to stun any momentum that Ferris State might obtain, you're going to have your blocking and your defense going on the other side to make sure they don't go on long runs.
Game of momentum. We saw what momentum does for 2 teams just a little while ago. It's going to be a really fun fight between these 2 teams. Last matchup for those that are thinking, yeah, didn't we play against Lewis if you're a Bulldogs fan not too long ago? You're right, it was September 9th of last year. It was at the Colorado Tournament, early to start the season. Coach Brandon Wilhelm loves to start off the season with some tough competition, as does Lewis head coach Lorley Smith. Those two met out in Denver, and it was the Bulldogs that got the win 3-1 in 4 sets. Really, all you need to know is Ferris State was on the offensive quite a bit of that match, but more importantly, they really did a great job of outplaying them defensively. They outblocked the Flyers. Lewis were on their heels quite a bit. They did dig very well against those attacks, but they got to even out those blocks per set. They got to get some big plays defensively that turned them into points for the Bulldogs. If you can use that defense, Lewis has shown that they're good in spurts. Consistency is a concern with them in their offense. The Bulldogs much better consistently, but as of late, especially this year, the defense has really stepped up.
It did seem like last year for Ferris State, the defense was kind of their own game. That was really a big part of their identity, and they had their offense going a whole lot as well, but it's really kind of transformed this season with their long run with 0 losses. They have both of those things, then they're never one-dimensional. They always have the defense, they always have the offense. Not often will you see them only sticking to one. So if you're Ferris State, you want to come into today and in this first set making sure you're not one-dimensional and giving Lewis any sort of opportunities.
Finley awaits on as they've returned from the locker room. What an effort they've put on here this tournament, knocking off the 3-seed Hillsdale and now the number 2-seeded Lakers to reach the title match as a 6th seed. What an incredible run for Coach Kolchikov. That team has really been the hottest team of the tournament in the Midwest region, and they show why. They have played their best volleyball late in the season, and they have a date with the winner of the teams that play here in front of us tonight in the second semifinal match here in Bulldog Arena. Lewis returns to the floor. They'll be sporting the all-white tops here this evening. They'll start on the right side of your screen and we get underway. The Bulldogs will start as usual at home, patent pending on the left side of the floor, which seemingly has, looking at the difference as far as for these teams, overall, the left side seems to be the hot side, no matter what team is on it, as far as overall side versus side win of set percentage goes. But it's going to be fun to see. These are two good teams. Two teams that have met quite a few times over in recent memory. Both of them in the regional tournament for how many years for Coach Smith? 16 straight NCAA tournament appearances for Coach Brandon Wilhelm. They've reached the regional championship 5 times, 6 NCAA tournament appearances in recent memory. These two teams know each other very well, and it's going to create for a heck of a chess match between the coaching staffs. Going to be great. 90 seconds we got of final warm-up time. Bulldogs working on the serve. Lewis, one final team huddle. Ryan, this is going to be a great matchup. What's the number one thing that fans should watch out for between these two teams? What's going to be catching your eye to follow throughout the entirety of this match?
Well, it was very interesting in the last game that we just called between Findlay and Grand Valley. They had some key players that were always coming up in clutch. On the Grand Valley side, it was definitely Paige Sanders. She's just really strong, and you kind of have to have that if you're any sort of volleyball team. You want to have all your players making sure they're all in getting good stats, getting through good blocks, getting good kills while on your end, but you also want to make sure that you have some key players stepping up when they need to. And we see it many times with Ferris State's players like Hedman Delape, players like Kaylee Mott setting up things. It's always important to get those key players back in the role, but you also want to make sure no one's left out.
2013 was one of the brightest times for Ferris State. That was the time they raised a regional championship banner in the Midwest region. Lewis looks to get back to prominence, pull off a major upset, and march one step closer for Sioux Falls. Flyers and Bulldogs, the second semifinal coming up here on Flow Sports. With that, we'll send it downstairs to our PA man, Nico LaGreca, for our national anthem and starting lineups.
Fans, welcome to the 2024 NCAA Division II Women's Volleyball Championship. The second round game between the Lewis Flyers and the Ferris State Bulldogs.
Here we go. Bulldogs, Flyers for a title weight fight in the semifinal of the Midwest Region NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship. Hi everybody, Brandon Wirt, Ryan Peeline joining you here from Bulldog Arena in bright Big Rapids. They say Friday Night Lights specifically for the gridiron, but the lights can't be brighter tonight than for both of these two teams. After quality quarterfinal wins, they face for the first time this year with a chance for the regional championship game on the line. Boy, this is going to be a good one, Ryan.
I really think that this is going to be a really important first set, not really for Ferris State. Well, obviously it will be. They always want to get the first set. But it's going to be really important to see how Lewis comes out. They have to come out strong because Ferris State riding high on a lot of momentum off of their 3-0 win. So if you're the Flyers, you kind of really need to take this first set, in my opinion, because you don't want to give up a set to Ferris State, who have that great ability to take sets, run away with them.
Ferris State and Lewis ready for battle. It's Emma Bleacher, the junior, to start us up here in the semis. We're underway. King up the middle, nothing doing. Violet's there. Fairfield, the Bulldogs strike first in front of the home fans.
Always important, the first point, especially when you're at home. You got lots of fans here. You can see them in the background, but also not even on screen. Lots of fans in front of us as well.
This one goes to the back row at Hickey, up the middle again. Januska started up for Lewis, a starter, the graduate fifth year out of Bourbonnais. The former Valparaiso product gets Coach Smith's team on the board, tied at 1-1. Hickey back with honors. Both teams with a lot of experience on the floor. Hickey's serve goes into the net, an early error behind the line for Lewis.
I was really hoping coming into today that Lewis would make sure they dive down on the amount of errors, because it kind of it was the frequent thing we would always bring up in that Rockhurst game, but starting off not so hot as Lewis.
Just missing wide and long. Stefanski with a first swing. Hers goes wide of the mark. Bulldogs with a 3-1 lead. Corey Wisser for her second straight serve. The southpaw out of Hopkins. Near side, Stefanski with a perfect finesse attack. Caught the Dogs off guard in the corner. That's a well-placed attack by another fifth-year senior for Coach Smith. Sat out and changed for Lewis. Gracie Schultz is also on, as well as the other talented setter on this Flyer team, Rachel Kozerwoyski. She'll have serving duties for the Flyers. 3 in the back row for the Bulldogs. Bleacher for Mott, for Henneman Delapi, right in front of Hickey. Henneman Delapi, the Region Player of the Year, as voted by the ABCA, on the board first in this match for her.
Henneman Delapi very strong, but Hickey's also a really strong libero on that back end, so good for Henneman Delapi to beat her on the dig attempt.
4 in the back row for Lewis, and they all call that serve off from Mott, and they do so wisely. Cuts the deficit for 1. Stefanski will have turn. 4 now in the back row for the Bulldogs. Mott behind Henneman Delapi. Soft serve towards the middle. 5 will call it middle. Freeman denied by Hickey. Kozerwoyski, back row attack. Stefanski, trouble for Bleacher, and Lewis has tied it up in the first 8 at 4 apiece. What a great crowd on hand. Lewis traveling well. They're off to the right over here. They have saw some great volleyball from their team this season. As a trouble on the serve, it's an ace for the Flyers. Stefanski adds to the board, and that's a big way on how they responded later in the sets. Lewis had a lot of errors, but down the stretch, a couple of big-time aces in big moments. Stefanski again. Violet. Near side. Was it deflected? No, it was not. Lewis with a 2-point lead after an early response from the Dogs. Flyers putting together a little run now in front by 2. Violet calls it late. Freeman able to score. Recoiled the arm back and stays poised and finds the open floor. Piazza will check in, the freshman, wearing 22 for the Dogs, in for Bleacher. Hanneman Delapi back with honors. Right in front of her bench. Service error goes long. Bulldogs struggled with that yesterday. 12 errors to 5 aces. Coach Brandon Wilhelm saying we got to serve better if we're playing against these good teams. We can't get 3 points. Even though our offense and defense are firing, no reason to give them 3 points. Freeman again, her second straight for the Bulldogs. She's been busy this weekend, especially defense yesterday against Missouri St. Louis.
You mentioned the service errors by Ferris State yesterday, but the good thing about Ferris State is that they had those errors, but they were able to recover every single time, and that's just what we saw.
That one dives in front of the Flyers. They keep it alive, over the top. Piazza with a one-arm save. Mott will run it down. This is a battle at the net. Lewis will win it. Great heads-up play up front by Coach Smith's crew. They're back ahead by 2. Chance to bring back on Buxton and King.
Seems like the positioning of the Bulldogs is a little off right now. A lot of the times the ball goes over on their end. A weird dig, and then the ball goes haywire. They can't really get it back up sometimes, but it's good for the Flyers to keep this Bulldog team on their toes.
The former Kent State product King sending it across. Fairfield has trouble. Mott put it on the long shoulder. What a dive by Violet. Wide side. Piazza is blocked and it goes wide off the hands of Violet. The Flyers out of the gate, soaring high defensively.
That's exactly what the Flyers wanted to do, and that's what we mentioned earlier about the Flyers needing to get their defense going, and they have so far.
King puts that one north of the mark. Bulldogs back within 2. It'll be Nowicki's turn. Almost 2/10 service aces per set. She was great yesterday. Couple aces against the Tritons. Floats that to the back. Hickey is there. King, middle attack. Nothing for Buxton. Violet, right side. Piazza found the open floor. Past the outstretched arms of the libero, Allie Hickey. Great placement right there by Piazza. Conference Player of the Year in the GLIAC. 8 of 14 with only 1 error yesterday. Efficient for Coach Brandon Wilhelm. Big swing and denied up front by the Dogs. Fairfield soft over the top. Great run up, trying to push it over. And they do. That's a great heads-up play there from Lewis. Finding the open floor as the Bulldogs were spread out after they overload the near side. 10-8 our score. Back goes Hannah Alvey. And an ace for Alvey. 20 in white gives the Flyers their second score on special teams.
I think you can see exactly what Lewis is trying to do. They have so many good chances on the serves. They're just making it really difficult for Ferris State, and sometimes the risk doesn't pay off and they'll commit some errors, but every single time it's been difficult for Ferris State to get a good dig off the serve, and some of them resulting in good service aces for Flyers.
Timeout for Ferris. Coach Brandon Wilhelm burns her first timeout. One of the earliest timeouts we've seen, and obviously services have been great for Lewis so far. They were great yesterday, all things considered. Yes, they did have 14 errors, but they found the floor 9 times via an ace. Not a bad percentage in all terms of ratio compared to what Rocker's 6 aces, only 14 errors. So definitely trying to clean that up. They've had a couple errors on their side that's given Lewis an overall advantage. And the number one thing we really didn't mention a lot about, we talked about the defense of the Flyers, but especially it goes to the size they have up the middle. When you're talking players like Bella Ray, Gracie Schultz, Hannah Alvey, Mallory Januski, both of them all 6'2", 6'1", all experienced players. So for the offense of Ferris State, they're going to be looking a lot on the outsides, and Flyers are probably going to try to counter that any way they can.
The size can just really go a long way, especially when the blockers are up there. When you have that size, not only can you get up higher and kind of cover more area, you also get up a lot quicker because you don't have to get up as far as a blocker. So there's a lot of quickness on this Lewis team to make sure the blockers are getting up, and then they can also cover all that area.
Back we go. Henneman Galapi has trouble. Mott runs it down. Fairfield will put it over. Lewis steals another possession from special teams. Mott reads that one out. Violet with the call. Piazza unloads that one north of the mark. didn't get the angle, downward trajectory on it. Bulldogs trail by 4 early. Lewis working with the game plan so far. Coach Lori Smith in the postgame yesterday. Looking forward to the matchup. Played against them last year, but know how good of a team they are and knows how good of a team she has. What a great job by Piazza. Violet pushes over. Flyers with another chance at it. Wide side. Stefanski's turned back. Bulldogs look for a spark. And they got one. Henneman Golapi hammers it right down the middle.
Henneman Golapi might be that key player to get her team back in there. So not too far out with a 12-9 score, but they definitely want to get her going because she can get this team some crucial points and some crucial momentum.
Bleacher tips off the net. Lewis keeps it alive. They can only put it over. Bulldogs capitalize. Denied. Lewis up front. It's Buxton with a big-time block.
You have to be a really good blocker when you're going up against Henneman Golapi because she has a lot of power. It's tough to control the ball once it hits her hands. But that time they make sure it goes back over the net, and a good kill there by Lewis.
Hickey. Great call from Bleacher and Nowicki. As Hickey's serve goes long, another error for the Flyers. Chance for a change. Wisser, the southpaw, returns for Coach Brandon Wilhelm. She'll go from the corner, near side, in front of the fans. Diving in front, Hickey with a great adjustment. Stefanski up the middle attack, denied for Lewis. However, they'll get it back as it touched the top. It won't matter. Lewis will score it. Unfortunate error there for the Bulldogs. Wisser will give way. Violet returns. 14-10 our score. Lewis, they've been the Road Warriors all season, 10-2 at opposing gyms. They had a big-time win last night against Rockhurst for the 3rd time. They say how much troubles a 3rd time can be against a team. They were able to do it. Quick one for King. Correction, Kazaroyski. The setter. Score for Lewis. 5-point lead.
Something that's been troubling the Bulldogs, just Lewis has been able to diversify all the things that they're able to do. They have the good, quick offensive attacks, then they have their defense and the sneak attacks. And the 4th one, obviously, coming in with the service aces.
Kazaroyski gets the ace and calls a timeout by force for Ferris State, their 2nd of the set. They trail 16-10. Flyers out and soaring so far in the 1st set. Back after this right here on Full Sports. We go here from Big Rapids. Brandon Worth, Ryan Pilon with you. Great start for Lewis. As good as you could expect against the #1 team. They've really, as you mentioned, Ryan, they've spread it out and they've kept the Bulldogs off balance and out of position quite a bit.
Yeah, and as I said, the Flyers really need this 1st set. You can't give the 1st set to Ferris State because once you get them that one, they normally get another one, and it's really tough to get back and get back to 5 sets if you're down by 2.
Bleacher will get the offense started. And they connect. Henneman Golapi finds the mark. Her 107th set played this season. And she gets herself in the tally again. Almost 5 points per set. Nationally number 11 individually. Kaylee Mott sends it across. Near side, Stefanski, blocked wide. Nowicki and Freeman were there. Nowicki's hands just tilted outward, and Lewis able to capitalize.
Nowicki and Freeman were in the right place, just a little too far back from the line. They would have liked to get up there a little bit quicker to kind of stun that outside hitter, but unfortunately for them, it fell right in front of them.
Freeman got a piece of it, I think was Ray. They'll try the other side. Schultz. Pancake by Bartlett. What a defensive play. Bulldogs will steal one from it. Mott for Freeman. They get it back. What a big time play there from Kazaroyski. And the Bulldogs do find the mark right in front of Stefanski. And the Bulldog crowd back to life.
Some great reactionary play there by the Bulldogs. We saw it early on in this first set. The amount of reception errors that the Bulldogs have had kind of killed their momentum, killed their ability to get on any runs, but this is good to see that they've cleaned it up a little bit off of some tough plays.
Tecumseh serve, gives Hickey some troubles, cross the way, goes wide. Already had some open area, just put it a little bit too far. Violet lets it go, Bulldogs within 4.
This is where I'd like to see Ferris State be a little bit more clean on these serves, because you don't want to give up a service error and give up momentum.
Tecumseh denies Bellaray. And Freeman again! Big time offense from a great defensive player. She can do it on the other side too. Within 3 now, the Bulldogs chipping away. Hand it to Tecumseh back for the second time after checking in. Kazaroyski, near side. Goes wide, left alone. Here come the Dogs. Coach Smith takes a timeout. Bulldogs within 2. We'll keep it right here. Lewis 23-10 on the season. Coach Smith over 500 wins coaching. A lot of experience in these big moments. Coach Brandon Wilhelm over 700 wins to her tally on the other side. The same story. You know these two coaches are going to take every chance they can to make sure if something's wrong, they correct it, and they correct it quickly, not waiting any time.
Well, Ferris State did really well with finding those corrections that they needed to make off of their first timeout. Now with the Flyers taking a timeout, so it'll be interesting to see how the Flyers react off of this really long run here by Ferris State. But I think what Ferris State really changed out of that first timeout, they just kind of got things a little bit up quicker, a little bit up to the speed that they're used to. A lot of the times, the balls that Lewis would put over, they would have a tough time receiving them, a tough time setting them back up, but they've really been commanding off of these long serves and making sure the speed is up to their tempo.
Tempo is something especially that a lot of these coaches have talked about throughout the weekend regardless of team. And I think that's really something interesting because obviously we look at numbers, right? Blocks per set for defense, digs per set, offensively assists as well as kills, special teams, right? Service aces compared to errors. But how the game flows is so crucial. Bulldogs trying to get to their tempo. Lewis looks for an answer. Ray, this one off the HVAC, it stays in play. Piazza towards the middle, dug out by Hickey. Lewis will tee it up again. Schultz, this one you need a hustle play. Tecumseh with a great save. One arm. Lewis third time, Violet on a dive. This one's gonna go back over. Lewis gonna steal a 4th try. Ray, Mott denies it. Back down, kept alive. This one's gotta go over and it does. What a play. Mott, the Ricky. Oh, goodness. This is what it's all about. What a building.
I don't think I've ever seen a better sequence of saves by one team. Man, we talked about how not so good Ferris State was on their receptions, but now they've definitely cleaned things up, keeping them teamed in it, and a good service ace there by Tecumseh.
Tecumseh gets an ace. Another one on the season for 17 in her senior season. Back she goes again on this run. Hickey for Kazaroyski. Ray tries to dunk it. Blocked again. Freeman turns it back. Third time, and Ray is able to find the mark. An All-American 2 years ago, 3-time All-Conference honoree, is a big part of this Flyers' success. She's battle-tested and shows it right there. Serving honors for her. This one gonna have to be kept in. What a great adjustment from Freeman. Off the pass from Mott.
There's a lot of pressure there by Mott because that ball was drawing really close to the tape. Blockers up there for her, but she got just the greatest amount of hand on it to get her back to Chelsea Freeman in the middle, and she got it home.
This one tips off the net for Freeman. Schultz, good play by Mott. Nobody there to keep it alive. It goes into the crowd. Flyers back in front, and they finally stall the run. They get a chance to make a change. King, Buxton return. Schultz, as well as Kazaroyski, will give way. King will be back with honors. Season high 38 assists against Dallas Baptist back in September. Well used yesterday along with Kazaroyski. Violation for the Flyers. Unforced errors will be something to watch. We saw Grand Valley struggle quite a bit in that semi with a lot of infractions. That's the first one we've seen here in the second semi. Quick swing and score, wide open. Januski saw nothing but the hardwood in front of her and a perfectly placed swing.
I think there's just a bit of a miscommunication there on Ferris State to figure out where they need to be to get that dig attempt, but really good by Lewis to get another clean point off of a bad reception there.
Tecumseh digs that one from the back. Blocked, and it just finds the mark. Lewis using that defense, and it's up the middle with the talented middles. They got a really strong group, very physical team. Coach Smith loves the physicality that they show up front. Bulldogs trying to find something. Piazza, battle incoming, won by the Flyers. Back over, the Dogs get it to defense. Flyers will tee it up. Quick swing, Nowicki's there on the call. Right side, Piazza. Man, that's perfect from Piazza. Right in the bullseye. Flyers spread out around the perimeter. Side out and change. Henneman Galapi. Bleacher on for Tecumseh and Piazza. 21-20 in favor of Lewis. Here's Bleacher. Down it goes. Up top. Stefanski goes wide, and just like that, we are tied in set one. This crowd, fantastic on display, and we're only in set one. King keeps it in. Was it deflected? No, it was not. It goes wide. Coach Smith is going to take a timeout. The Bulldog faithful rise in unison, getting behind their team after they claw back from what was looking to be a long deficit. It was at one point 17-11, and they have made their way back with a big 11-4 run to take the lead.
Well, this is exactly what is good about the Flyers, is that they made that really wide range of points that Ferris State needed to climb to get back in it. Now that Ferris State has gotten back in it with that really long run that they had, it's just back to being really close. So it's good that the Flyers started off really strong, because if they hadn't and Ferris State started off a little bit stronger, it definitely would have been tough for the Flyers to get back in it like Ferris has.
So Lewis will have no timeouts remaining. Bulldogs with none either. So we'll finish out this set. Here in the next 15 seconds, the Bulldogs will return to the floor. Flyers also will be on the floor. They'll be on the floor first. Stefanski, Hickey, Alvey, King, joined by Buxton and Januski. Ferris State shows Violet, Nowicki, Henneman Delapi, Fairfield, Mott, and Bleacher to serve. What a great serve there from Bleacher. Gets a possession. Henneman Delapi deflected right to Hickey. Lewis looks for an answer. Stefanski, what a great play from Nowicki. Cross pass denied by Hickey again. What a great libero for the Flyers. Bleacher's there. Third time is good for 5.
The reception of Ferris State has just been so good as of late. They faced some really tough shots here by Lewis, but they've always been there to get the dig and keeping on setting up to Henneman Delape. Good things will happen.
Januski is turned back. Henneman Delape and Fairfield team up for the swat. Knocking on the door, the Dogs again. Looking for the set ender. Back goes Hickey. King. Stefanski. Wide of the mark. That concludes the first. Lewis makes a huge run to start it, but the Dogs finish it with a run of their own. 25-21. Bulldogs lead it into the first break, and they got back to their game plan and their momentum, making plays with the blocks and turning those opportunities and giving them to that high-powered, efficient offense.
I think the Flyers just had too many times where they gave Ferris State a free point here and there, a couple errors, reception errors, service errors, just violations for the Flyers that, I mean, they had these long runs, but just some things here and there, but you got to give it to Ferris State because they were down pretty far, and they made that long climb back, and they weren't deterred once Lewis had a couple points here and there. They kept it in, took a little timeouts here and there, and they got back in it. Good first set win here for Ferris State.
Big time first set for both teams. We'll step aside for 60 seconds. Back with stats and more after this right here on Full Sports. Welcome back here to Big Rapids. Brandon Worth, Ryan Pilon with you here on the call. What a great first set that was. Lewis establishes the tone with defense, 3 total team blocks. Bulldogs get back to their bread and butter. Big time setups and big time efficient swings. Despite the errors early on with service as well as receptions, 26.5 swing efficiency. Keep that up. That could get the job done against the Lewis defense.
It was really all Lewis in that first set. They kind of, in the first half of that first set where they got a good long lead and a good comfortable lead, but things kind of just fell through for them with a couple errors here and there, but you got to give credit where credit's due for Ferris State because they went on that long run to get themselves back into it. And like you said, with the hit percentage, 26% for Ferris State, only 5% for Lewis. So the blocking for Lewis was really strong, but it was only really strong in that first half. They had to keep it going throughout the entire run, but they just couldn't, and Ferris State just made that comeback that they needed to take that first set win.
In perception, Lewis only had 6 assists as a team in that opening set. 14 total for the Bulldogs, 13 for Vermont. Lewis only had 9 kills, but they were able to score 21 points. Bulldogs service errors, reception errors, a key part of that. 5 right there by themselves. And then the blocks, 3 total team blocks, 2 assists for Buxton as well as Januski. They've been great so far. Bulldogs have given it to their top players' hands. Henneman Delape 10 times, 5 conversions, 2 errors. Piazza's been great as well. While they're 2 of 7, 2 crucial ones down the stretch. Here we go. Mott, net battle, won by Lewis. They'll have a chance. Near side, locked in bounds. Henneman Delape, along with Fairfield, lay down the woodwork.
If I'm not mistaken, Ferris State's only block in that first set came from Henneman Delape off a solo block, so starting off strong. Here's Ferris State getting their blocking going, which they were out-blocked by Lewis in the first set.
Wisser serves to the corner. Stefanski turned back, looking for that far sideline. Henneman Delapi again with another strike. Her second straight of the set, number 7 in the contest. And Coach Brandon Wilhelm loves the play from her defense.
This is exactly what I wanted to see out of a player like Henneman Delapi. You have to have those big players step up at big moments, and she has.
Great correction by King, able to keep the possession alive. Freeman, cross side, goes right into the waiting arms of Alvey. Up the middle, that one untouched. Lewis had just a quick look at it and just pushed it too wide of the mark to the left. Attack error. That one number 8 in the match so far. Unforced errors. Back it goes. King pushed in the corner. Wisser is there. Henneman Delapi goes into the net. Flyers catch a break. They get their first in the first 4. Ray returns. Hickey with honors. Hickey on the year. .32 service aces per set. 1 a match clip for anything over 3. Freeman's rejected. Great wall up front by Ray and company. Bulldogs pushed it across, so play defense. Big swing. Into the bench area it goes. Wide of the mark. Attack error number 9 for Lewis. They're trying to evade the defense, and they're missing.
I like that point because the defense for Ferris State has been pretty strong. They haven't had the numbers they're looking for on the blocks and the kills off of the blocks and the defense, but they've been there to pressure Lewis and make sure that they have these errors that they've been committing.
Defense again for the Dogs. Flyers just look a little out of sync since the opening minutes, trying to get back to what they do best. Here comes Mott with honors from the far sideline. Hickey, King towards the corner, unloads, all these turned back by Mott. Violet, Henneman Delapi punched it too far, just north of the mark, and Lewis cuts back into the deficit now at 5-2. Side out and change. Schultz will come on. Kazaroyski will leave. King as the setter.
If I'm not mistaken, Henneman Delapi has committed the only 2 errors so far for Ferris State in the second set, and it's given Lewis both of their points. So hoping to see, if you're a Bulldog fan, Henneman Delapi to get back in the groove we saw her in the first set.
Mott, back row attack. Great job, at least getting a piece of it. That's all they're going to get of it. Great hustle from Hickey. Great play by Schultz just to keep it upright, but not able to keep it in the lines. 4-point lead for the Bulldogs. Changes on to Tecumseh's end. Mott is off. Mott is also on. Bleacher and Henneman Delapi go off for Coach Brandon Wilhelm. Serving call for Tecumseh. The lane middle. Lewis with a chance to tee it up. Stefanski off the hands of Freeman. Violet with an assist opportunity. Far side, Nowicki. Right there is Tecumseh off the block from Lewis. Nowicki unloads again. Flyers will take it this time. Far side, Stefanski. Violet awaits it off the deflection. Quick one from Mott. Oh, what a great play by Kazaroyski, the setter. That one goes long. Energy pumping in the veins of Alvey, and that's attack error number 10 for the Flyers.
And that's something that a quick attack there by Kaylee Mott will do. You don't really expect it, so you don't get the good dig and return that you want to set up a good offense.
Kazaroyski back to Stefanski. Great effort from Piazza. Not able to get the second effort. That's a well-placed attack from Lewis. They've had some success on the shorties in the opening points, and they get another one that time. Stefanski back again. 4 aces yesterday against Rockhurst. Dominant behind the black wide. Targets Tecumseh. Piazza gets a wide. And a big time finish from 22. She loves that cross-court kill. She has really done a great job using the whole surface area on the floor. Violet's off. Freeman to serve. Diving right in front of Alvey. Middle call for Ray. Mott is there. Freeman flips the field. Nothing doing right at Kazaroyski. Lewis now with a chance. That one's rejected. And they have troubles keeping it upright. Bulldogs are running now. They lead by by 6. Coach Smith looking under coaching staff, looking for answers. Freeman back again for the 3rd straight try. Hickey has trouble. There's the ace for number 8.
It was surprising in that first set to see how much Lewis was better at Ferris State in the serving category. So if you were Ferris State coming in the second set, you want to make sure you get your special teams back in action. And
Trouble kept alive. Lewis will have a try. Mott keeps it up near the corner. Tecumseh keeps it in. Mott will just clean it over. Get some hang time. Defense will set up. Way with a dunk right down the middle. That's the play that she loves most. She used that quite a bit against Rockhurst last night.
And that's such a tough play to defend because she was up there really quick. You kind of didn't really expect her to go up there as well. And there's just no defenders in the area for the Bulldogs to get a good dig.
The Plainfield, Illinois product, Joliet Catholic High School grab, puts it into the net. A lot of great talent out of Joliet. Ray on one side, you might think, I know somebody from Joliet wearing a Ferris State jersey. That's 22. Gabby Piazza. Great product of volleyball in that area. Quick swing up the middle is denied. We see you, 12. Gets herself into the block column.
She's such a multi-tool player. You see her with the quick attacks, the amount of assists. Obviously, she's the setter, so you would think that she would have a lot of assists, but then you also see her in the blocking category as well.
Back to Schultz off the reception. Bulldogs will have a try. And they convert. Piazza gets the Dogs in front by 9. What a response from the number 1 seed, Ferris State. They lead it. We'll step aside for a timeout. Back after this with more volleyball right here on the home of the Midwest Women's Volleyball D2 Championship right here, Full Sports. We are getting groovy here in Bulldog Arena. Shout out to Josh Zeitema, our DJ for the night. He's gotten the fans fired up on both sides. Bulldogs return from the Lewis timeout. Lead 13-4 in set 1. Lewis really had a firm grip early in the first, but the Bulldogs make a run back, and they flip the script to win the first. A big response is needed here for Lewis. You don't want to give anything up. Bulldogs get any momentum moving forward.
It does seem like most of their points have come from Ferris State mistakes, so they need to get something going on their offense or their defense, and that's not really going to help them when Ferris State is so good on defense.
Piazza with a heck of an effort. Quick one. Violet on a dive, and they're not able to secure the play on possession. Boy, Violet just seems like she flies through the air. Every time there's a ball at least 8 feet in front of her, she still gets a hand on it. It's incredible effort from Leah Violet, the 5'6" senior from Palos Heights, Illinois. She was well relied upon early in the season when the Bulldogs upset West Texas A&M. 27 digs, 16 had. Fairfield just pushes it over. Flyers with a chance. They go up the middle. Untouched. Great discipline from the blockade of Ferris State. And the attack errors piling up for the Flyers right now. Hammond-Delapi's on. Bleacher will as well. She'll have ball in hand from right to left for the serve. Trouble! Service ace for 7, who's had a spectacular year as a specialist. Bleacher entering this match at a .41 ace per set clip. One of the best Ferris State's seen in some time. Second on the team, only trailing to Wisser. This one coming all the way upstairs. That's a really big response on that swing from Lewis. They need more of those quick tee-ups to get Ferris State out of position. Served by Alvey. Mott all the way across. Great read there from Stefanski. Flyers work up the middle. Byland on a dive. Lewis gets it back. Nowicki with another play. Lewis is trying to find any open floor. That one's deflected. Bleacher all the way for Henneman Delape towards the middle. That one saved, but out of play. Lewis claws back into this deficit. 15-7 now on the big board.
Very weird point there for the Flyers, just off of a dig, goes right out and inbounds. Ferris State players couldn't get a hand on it.
Mott for Fairfield, taken back by Hickey. King across the way, tipped by the Bulldogs. They'll get it offensively. Mott will tee it up for 5, unloads and hits. She loves that corner, and it was wide open that time.
It's just so tough right now if you're a Lewis player on the court. There's so many times they have good kill attempts. The reception by Ferris State has always been there. They've been just keeping them up, but then once Ferris State sets something up, it's just so hard to defend, and they've been so great on the serves as well.
How about the service flip from yesterday for Coach Brandon Wilhelm and company? Wisser adds to her tally. The top 2 specialists answer with aces of their own. 15 back again. 17-7. Another one! She's had 8 in a match before. She's a quarter of the way there, but more importantly, she's got her team up 11. Man, what a response from the opening minutes from Ferris State. Lewis gets this one, flips it, and scores it. Stefanski adds to her tally. She's had consistent numbers. She's been a very, very consistent, confident player for the Flyers. Going to be needed, especially with the veteran group that Lewis has in front of us. Hickey back with honors. Bleacher, Mott, quick one, kept alive. King sniffed it out. Back to the Bulldogs it goes. Mott will call it. Cornered, not going to matter. Lewis will get a try. Stefanski just missing. So it might be worth another look for Coach Smith. We'll see if she will elect to use the challenge. Usually the players are the ones that get the coaches fired up to grab the green card. Lewis seems content. They would agree with the line's call. 19-8 in favor of Ferris State. Alvey, King, Ray, rejected again. Freeman and Henneman Delape team up for the assists. Timeout, Lewis. Coach Smith needs to regroup her team. They trail big in set 2, 20-8 here in Bulldog Arena. This looks very similar to the matchup we saw all the way back last year in September. If you look at the blocks, Lewis right now with 4 assists, 1 solo. That gets you to 3 total. Overall for Ferris State, Henneman Delape with 2 solos, 1 for Fairfield, 2 assists for Freeman and Henneman Delape. That gets you to 4, plus 1 is 5. So they're out blocking Lewis. They're beating them at their own game, and the offense has no response. They've had all their attacks go wide for the Lewis.
Well, they've been out blocking them tenfold, because if your math is correct, which I trust you, Brandon, if they're at 4 total blocks for Ferris State, they had 1 in that first set. So they've definitely stepped up. They've gotten 3 total blocks here in this second set. And for Lewis, if you said it was 3, and it was 3 in that first set as well. So they really haven't gotten their defense going, which is definitely what they need to do. But it's kind of hard because it's just Ferris State is just playing so well. Every single chance that Lewis has, Ferris State finds a way to get it back up and get a good reception off of it. And if you're Lewis, you kind of just have to hope that something goes your way here soon so you can try to build some momentum and get back in it.
Mott puts one into the net to start it up. Lewis scores out of the stoppage. They will now get it within 11. They'll flip back in Kazaroyski as well as Gracie Schultz. A senior and redshirt sophomore combo. Kazaroyski, the redshirt sophomore. Schultz, the senior. Both Illinois products playing for their home state. Back for Violet. Quick one the middle, and Freeman looked like she punched it. Goes long there, just a mishit on it. Looked like a good pass from Mott.
I think this is a crucial moment here for the Flyers in this second set. Service error and a bad hit by Chelsea Freeman in the middle. Gives Lewis 2 points, but that's not going to help.
Another service error, this time it goes for the Flyers. Side out and change. Piazza is in. And we have a new face on the floor for the Bulldogs. Logan Guerin, the former Floridian out of Fort Myers, Florida, will make her way on to serve. First appearance for her in these regional championships. Back to serve at Stefanski. Kazaroyski, back row attack for Alvey. Right there's Violet. Piazza will scramble. Guerin gets it over. Back to defense go the Dogs. Flyers up the middle. And just finding the mark is Ray. She has great control from the middle on those quick attacks. She's made a living out of them, especially in this tournament so far.
I'm going to be looking for Lewis to try to keep things quick as well, because you don't want to give Ferris State too much time to set up on defense.
Guerin on a slide. Nowicki is denied. Her and Ray collide up front on the swing. Nowicki's there again from Schultz. Back for Piazza. Great placement, great play by Stefanski. Quick one from Kazaroyski's turn back. Back to the far side. Bulldogs turned away. Flyers look to score on the long possession. Now Ferris State's turn. Nowicki again the third time is the charm.
As I've said multiple times, the Flyers they have these moments. They have the ability to finish on some plays, but the Ferris State Bulldogs has just always been there and always putting it home after a long rally.
Stringing them together is what Lewis needs, and they start it up again. They go back 14's way, and why not? She's been a big contributor so far. Hickey is off. Emma O'Neill on the way for the first time. The junior out of Nebraska. This will be set number 40 on the season for her. And now we'll see Elena Gubara, the 5'7" sophomore out of Jamestown, Indiana, will go back to serve. Pretty good server for Lewis, trying to get any points they can. Guerin, the target. Mott back to the near side. Piazza finds the black line again. Another cross-court kill for Piazza.
Piazza's just been so accurate for the Bulldogs. Most of the time she'll sub in for Olivia Henman-Alape, and she fills those shoes very well.
Nowicki gets herself an ace. Had some yesterday. She's had double-digit points in 7 of the last 8. She adds to it here. Bulldog fans looking for one more for a 2-set lead. Kazaroyski across the way, unloads, Alvey denied. Mott for Piazza, goes long untouched. No, it's deflected. They change the call, and Ferris State wins the second. They're in control in the home arena here in the regional semifinal. They lead it 2-0 after a 25-20 win line in sets 1 and sets 2. What a start for the Bulldogs. They want to close this thing in 3 by the way they're playing right now.
And this is exactly what I said earlier. You can't really give up a first set to Ferris State, and you can't give up a second set either if you're Lewis. And I would say for Lewis, it's kind of just really been a story. They haven't really been doing anything wrong that much on their offense and their defense other than committing a good amount of errors. It just keeps on getting them out of it. But Ferris State on the other end just been so strong. It's hard to play against such a great team like Ferris State if you're a Lewis player.
We'll step aside for 60 seconds. Back with second set stats and recaps. Third set also coming up next right here on Flow Sports. Set 2 in the books. Ferris State victorious in dominant fashion. 25-21 in set 1, 25-12 in set number 2. Slight typo, bad reading. I don't have my readers with me. Apologies for that before the break. Ryan, we talk about side-out percentage when it comes to momentum. Ferris State has all the momentum, and the number in side-out percentage certainly supports that.
Yeah, we're looking at a 84% side-out percentage for Ferris State, only 41 for Lewis. That is an incredible number, and the number really close to it on our stat sheet is that hitting percentage by Ferris State, only 10%, which isn't that much, but as comparison to a negative 12% on Lewis's side, it's not really that good of a number for Lewis. And something I also noticed is that in the first set, Lewis only had 7 attack errors. In that second set, they added 10 total attack errors for a total of 17. So if you're the head coach of the Lewis Flyers here, I'm definitely talking to my team, making sure that we chalk down on some of these errors, because it's really been them shooting themselves in their own foot that's been giving Ferris State such a big lead, such a big momentumous run. But as I keep on saying, you can't give the nod away from Ferris State because they've just played so well. Lewis had many opportunities, but they're always there to get a good dig on it.
6 total team blocks for Ferris State, 3 for Lewis. Lewis looking to get into the positive number in terms of attacks, 17 errors through 2. Only 9 for the Bulldogs, and they're only swinging at an 18.8% clip. Many would be happy with that. The Bulldogs average over 30% on the season. They haven't been swinging as well, but man, have they stepped it up defensively. Henneman Delapi especially, 2 solos, 2 assists, 2 as well for Freeman. So that's just an incredible mark, and they added to it, especially just shut the door on Lewis's defense in set 2.
Yeah, Ferris State only had 1 total block in the first set, and now they've climbed that number up to 6. A great defensive set, number 2.
That is a monster response from Ray. That one needed a radar gun. That one got to the floor in a hurry off of the hands of Nowicki. Good start for Lewis. Hit the first one. Chance to get a change on. Kazaloyski will go back again. 3 up front for Lewis. Following this serve, they'll spread it out. Bulldogs with 3 in the back row. They go towards the middle. Nowicki calls it. Mott for Fairfield to the middle. Full sprawl dive from Alvey. Big time swing and deflected. Looked like Nowicki thought it was clean in reaction as it was tipped. So Lewis will score it 2-0.
We've seen what a good start can do as well. In that first set, Lewis started off really strong, taking a good commanding lead. It only fell in the waning moments of that first set.
Nowicki stays with it as that one deflected off the top of the net. Flyers get a chance from the back row. Violet digs it out. Nowicki will have a try in the back row. Pancake by a Hickey. What a play for Lewis. Ferris State keeps the play alive. Deflected up front. Another try for Henneman Delapi off the shoulder of Kazaloyski. Back row attack onto the soft one right at Cyan. Fake the middle. Outside swing denied. Mott pushes to the corner. Bulldogs will reset. Lewis will have a swing. Wide side. Dug out by Violet. Quick one. Fairfield. Tipping towards. Bulldogs take it back. 5 again and just missed it over the net. Lewis now with 3 in a row, and Coach Smith getting some energy in her group as they're in front early in the third.
This is what we saw a little bit early on in that second set, where Ferris State did commit a couple of errors that gave Lewis a couple early points, but Ferris State looking to get back in this one.
They'll try to tee it up. Back for 5 again. Too hot to handle for Hickey. Wisser and Freeman will check on here after the first point for Ferris State.
Important to see how Lewis responds at this point, not going their way. They can't really give up too much. You have to make sure you clean things up. Don't let that one discourage you.
Back goes Wisser. Kazaloyski. Unload. Schultz. Gonna need a big play. Nowicki not able to get it over. Good hustle from Bleacher and company. Flyers got some rhythm going. For the first 5 go Lewis's direction. Stefanski back again. Boy, they would love a big-time serving run from her. As we mentioned 4 yesterday. averaging almost 3 points a set. Great serve. Opportunity for Lewis. Alvey denied by Bleacher. Mott, right side. 5 again. Back to the hot hand. She's already in double figures for the Dogs.
Hedemindalape had a rough start of this third set, not having a kill attempt not go her way, but back-to-back kills by Hedemindalape, getting her back into that groove she wants to be in.
Mott goes for Stefanski in the back corner. Quick attack up the middle, and it's Ray again. Drops the hammer. When she gets a swing from right at the center of the floor, she's dangerous. She's already showed that here in this match so far. 4 points individually, 4 of 11. Freeman, her attack is denied. Ray comes up for it, nothing doing. Nowicki will have a swing. Stefanski turns her back. This one going towards the corner, kept alive. Nowicki, what a great play. Saw the open floor and snatched the opportunity away from Lewis.
Yeah, bit of a mistake there by Kazaroyski on that right side. Just hitting the ball, kind of giving the Bulldogs just that clean opportunity right in the middle to just bat it back down. Good eye there by the Bulldogs to put it back over.
Tecumseh will add to the tally. Another ace for Ferris State. How about it? That's number 6. Man, have they made an adjustment from yesterday. 5 aces, 12 errors. 6 aces and only 3 errors so far. Schultz trying with an answer, denied by Mott. Nowicki towards Stefanski. Lewis tries for another battle at the net. Won by Lewis. Ferris State just gonna have to push it over. Lewis will have a try. And it's off the antenna. Alvey ran out of real estate. 5-all, just like that. It was 4-1 Lewis. Bulldogs have battled back here in the third. Trouble, another! Tecumseh with twin aces in the third. Make it 7 now. Kazaroyski, great pass to keep it in, a little far away. Nowicki.
I was almost thinking that it was going to be really important for Lewis to make sure they hold on to their lead, because once Ferris State gets a glimpse at the ability to have a lead, they normally run away with it, and that's what they're doing here.
Kazaroyski, another adjustment. Ball coming toward the net. She's got to really move it back. Piazza! Right through the defense. They rolled up, but it didn't matter, as Piazza will score it. What a freshman season she's had. Tecumseh again. Lewis desperately needs one here, and they got it. Great attack from Alvey as she finds the mark here in the third. Side out and change for the Flyers. Back in King and Buxton. Alvey was 3 of 11 with 3 errors entering the set. That's a big one for her. King will send it right to left. Bulldogs with a chance. Oh, Freeman finds the mark with a little extra pepper to that one.
What a good way for Ferris State to not get discouraged off of that Lewis point. Lewis had a good kill, but Ferris State just quickly set something back up. Good for Freeman as well.
Freeman targets Hickey. King crossed the way. Rejected! Nowicki and Fairfield. It's a block party in the B-Rack.
Almost everything is going right for Ferris State as well. The serves, the offense, and like we just saw there, some good defensive plays there by the players up front on Ferris State.
Hickey with a heck of an effort to adjust for that one. Stefanski right at Tecumseh with an aggressive attack. Into the middle. Flyers almost kept it alive. Hickey and King both dove for that one on the pancake. They're saying that it might have been saved, and Coach Smith would like to challenge this one. So we're going to take a booth review. It feels like a timeout the way this game's going. So Lewis will obviously keep both their timeouts, trailing 11-6. It looked really close. We're getting the replay feed upstairs right now in just a moment. 11-6 as far as on Flow Sports. We're seeing what you're seeing at home. I mean, it looked really, really close. Ball was nearing the back of the hand of Hickey. King also slid in to try, so obviously right after the play, both of the Flyers players that were right in front of the play thought they kept it alive. Play stands as called. They say that it hit the floor.
This is a good opportunity, though, for Lewis to kind of take a timeout without calling a timeout as well, because they had a good run going at the beginning of this set, but Ferris State has definitely turned things around, and we're about to run away with it probably, and good thing for Lewis. They took a challenge, took a little break, probably running things over and looking for a change here.
Alvey turned back, fake middle, near side, Nowicki right at King, stands tall to setter. Denied, but they'll get it back. Big swing, and it's Hannah Alvey out of a stoppage. Gets Lewis back in it.
A lot of power on that hit by Alvey. The dig attempt from Ferris State went all the way flying into the backboard. That just goes to show how much heat was coming off of that ball.
Alvey with honors after that attack, great success. Piazza unloads, deflected up front. Januski had it. Now she'll get a chance offensively and not able to get it over top of the webbing. Back to 5 goes Ferris State.
Small hand to eye communication error there by Lewis. Just a small error gives Ferris State back the ball.
Trouble for the Flyers. Hickey on a heck of an effort. Violet. Oh, and no look. Haley Mott. 20/20 vision. No eyesight required.
You have to have the big brain to make sure you know where that ball is going, but you also have to make sure you get the hand correctly. It looked like she used the back of her hand on that one to get that one over.
The Wiki into the net set will go back for Lewis as they'll serve. Another one for Nowicki. Hickey with honors now. Out of Granger, Indiana, Allie Hickey. Had a great career as a Flyer. Fairfield. Looked like the same play again. Officials call that one onto the hardwood, and I think Coach Smith even saw that one from her angle. And so she's repeating to her team right now, trying to read her lips, and I think she's absolutely right. Watching back on that last play, they got 2 blockers going in towards the center. That's leaving the outsides. That's causing a little bit of out of position for the Flyers. Ray trying to get an answer, rejected from Fairfield. They'll try the other side and misses the corner. Buxton just missing.
I like the play by Buxton, though. She saw that open corner on that right side, just couldn't place it the way she wanted to. Went right out of bounds.
King over top. Lewis struggling to get momentum going. Fairfield just missing the light. Almost played Poinko up there. Ray pushes it too far again. Another attack error for Lewis. The swings are just not staying in bounds.
2 back-to-back errors by Lewis. They have these opportunities. They can finish on them, but they're just not finding the area and putting it out of bounds.
Ray tries the soft attack, turn back. Henneman Delapi just sends it back over. Flyers with a chance. Quickie, bleachers there. Across the way. Henneman Delapi denied off the hands there of Ray. And she will score it. That one was close, and Coach Brandon Wilhelm said, you made that call? I might grab the green card. She's thinking about it. Asking for the line judge. So now we're just having a conversation with Mott, perhaps. No, they're going to talk to the other line judge for the conversation right down in front of us. So if they come to a ruling here, We'll see what they're talking about down here. A little long conversation.
I thought they were talking about a potential tip there, but I thought they called it against them because they tipped it and it went out of bounds, so they gave Lewis the point, but it looked like Ferris said, oh, I didn't tip that one just went straight out of bounds, so interesting to see what the call is made here on the field.
So taking a look at this one, deflection is the call. We're going to have a review. So, unsure what that conversation was about here by the officials. Maybe just getting the official call on the floor correct to all three judges before a decision. But now they're going to bring in the fourth and fifth officials for the replay review. 16-9 is where we stand right now. Just past 8:20 Eastern Standard Time. Long night of great volleyball indeed. We'll see if this one was tipped. The replay is hard to look from our angle on the stream. I think the best look they're going to get is from the back wall camera. It looked really close. Always as close if it goes to review. Looks like they have a ruling. Potentially extra conversations here. How did these teams get here? Ferris State with a win over UMSL in straight sets, the team that knocked them out 2 years in a row. Lewis outlasting Rockhurst for the third time this year, in the second time in the fifth set. Ferris State wins the challenge. Bulldogs flip it to 17-8 just like that. Just when Lewis might have got a glimmer of hope, Bulldogs snatch it right back.
And this is going to be a really important moment in this third set for Lewis. They had a bit of a time there, a little bit of a small timeout to talk over things, try to get back in this one. They're at a pretty big deficit, around 9 points, so they're going to have to change something if they want to get back on this run.
Bleacher goes towards the middle. Ray with the slant. No! Turn back this time. They're going to call Ray for the carry. We saw Rockhurst coaches were a little frustrated with that yesterday. Ray using that quickness. Ferris State looks to tee it up. Fairfield blocked the wide. Bulldogs keep it rolling here. Double digits now turned 11.
Good to see Haley Wagner's actually subbed in for Kaylee Mott on that last play, setting it up.
Timeout, Coach Smith. We'll step aside. Back with more after this right here. Fun Flow Sports. Back in Big Rapids we go. Both teams returning to the floor momentarily. Really, Ryan, the only way that you can explain with the momentum Ferris State's had, they've turned everything into 2, 3, or 4 points at a time. Flyers have scrapped for one every so often, but haven't been able to make a string of them.
Ferris State has definitely really been good at that, and it's basically been the Flyers kind of shooting themselves in their own foot, because the last 6 points, we're looking at it, 4 of them have come from attack errors from the Flyers. So 6 points by Ferris State, 4 of them attack errors by the Flyers. Not someone you want to see if you're the Flyers.
King for Ray is the connection that gets them to point number 9. Schultz, Gazaroyski back in for Lewis. As you mentioned before the break, Ryan Haley Wagner on for the first time, the sophomore out of Ravenna. Set number 38 this season. She's played in 24 matches, has 112 assists to her tally, and limited action throughout this campaign. Henneman Galapi taken back. Nice play there by Stefanski. Lewis loses the connection. Chance for Henneman Galapi and connects in front of Hickey again.
I do think that this sub in with Haley Wagner is really important because it kind of gives you have this really long lead here, over 10 points for Ferris State. You can have a little bit of leeway if Haley Wagner doesn't do so well, but right now she's doing well, and it gets her some good playoff action.
That is pretty much as perfect as you could place it there for Stefanski. The fifth-year senior wants to fight on. They cut it to 10. Can the Flyers get them in bunches? That's all they've been missing. Violet, Wagner, Freeman standing tall. Kazaroyski, Schultz over the top. Wagner on a slide. Henneman Galapi. Good read there as they get the corner target. Ball away once again. They've really relied on the shoulders of 14, and she's converted at a good clip so far.
You talked about Lewis making sure they get things in bunches, and Lewis kind of really only has 5 potential errors because 5 more points that Ferris State gets, the game's over. So
what a great play by Hickey again. Been tested all night so far. Henneman Galapi all over the top. Not able to keep it alive. It went right towards Ray in a hurry. Not able to adjust to it off the hands of Kazaroyski. 21-11. Coach Brandon Wilhelm talking to some of the players on the sideline. Wagner back to serve here for the Bulldogs. Floats it across to the corner. Ray denied. Bleacher read it down the middle. Hickey saves it. Lewis with another attack. And they convert. Alvey again, 3 points per set this season. Can bring that offensive spark, and it was well needed right there. 21-12 now. Make it 22-12 now. Service error for the Flyers. Too many errors for Coach Smith's team.
Lewis basically needs to go on some 5-point runs here. They only have 3 potential points they can give up, so it's going to have to change to all Lewis if they want to get back in this one to get it tied.
Kazaroyski for Schultz. That's a big effort from Wagner as Violet runs out of real estate. And as you mentioned yesterday, Ryan, probably wondering where the water coolers are on the run, as she has got an all-time record against those water jugs. She won the first meeting, that's for sure. 22-13. Lewis needs a long streak to try to tie this set game up. And now it's gotten a little bit harder, thanks to Chelsea Freeman. 23-13. A standing O awaits for the sophomore from Germany, Lindsay Urich, one of the tallest players in Division II. 6'5" on the roster. Long from Freeman. They give a gift to Lewis. Now or never if you're a Flyer. Do or die time. Gotta put it together. Coach Smith does have a timeout if she elects to use it. Nowicki. Wagner back for 4. Unloads right at King. Near side. This one be about the net perhaps. Urich might have been over the top. No, they're going to say the Flyers 9 fingers up just when they thought it couldn't get worse. And here comes a timeout for Coach Smith. Back against the wall, no room for error now for Lewis. 24-14. That's her last timeout. Lewis with no more stoppages that they can create. Bulldogs still with 2. But right now, whatever you can do to scrap and keep the play alive if you're the Flyers, you got to do it, or the season's coming to an end here in Big Rapids.
The Flyers are going to have to go on such an incredible run. They need 11 points to get back in this one, to get a win here. It's going to be tough. We've seen it in the past 4 matches, the past 5 matches this weekend, that you don't really see it often where teams go on 10, 11-point runs. So it's going to be difficult for the Flyers, but it is possible. But you're going up against such a great Ferris State team. You're going to have to be all offense, making sure the defense is standing strong, and you cannot commit one single error.
24-14. Bulldogs 1 point away from their second straight sweep in this regional round. Looking for a date with Findlay tomorrow night in this very building. Nowicki will send it across. Hickey for King. Stefanski tries to get it over and does. Piazza keeps it alive. Wagner. Young! 33-0. And now have a date for the regional title fight. What a win for Ferris State. They take down Lewis 3-0 and keep the unblemished season alive.
I said it yesterday in Ferris State's win against UMSL, 3-0, another 3-0 victory against Lewis. And I'll say it again, it's an enigma. I do not know what any of these teams needs to do to beat this Ferris State team. Seemed like the Flyers in that first set, they had the ability to keep it close. They had so many good chances, so many potential areas where they could improve, potential kill attempts, but they just had a good amount of errors that were keeping them out of it, and Ferris State is just such a good team. You can't commit any errors as much as the Flyers did if you want a chance to win.
Incredible performance from the Bulldogs today. Hats off to the Lewis Flyers on what was a great season. 23-11, their final record will stand, but man, they played some great volleyball, and there's no doubt about it. Getting a conference championship in the GLVC, beating Rockers 3 times, a lot of ranked wins, but man, they really had a good season at the end of the day. Although they were ousted by the Bulldogs, the #1 team in the nation, they certainly had a great season. Hats off to those players and that coaching staff on a great season as it comes to an end here in Big Rapids. However, for the hometown Dogs, they live for one more game and a chance to hoist the Midwest Regional title trophy tomorrow night against the Findlay Oilers. An old rivalry is renewed with a trophy on the line. Pretty much couldn't get better than this. The hottest team, arguably in the country, the 6th seed Findlay, against the top team in the country in the Ferris State Bulldogs.
It's going to be a great matchup. And, I mean, I said it right at the close there. It's going to be really tough to beat this Ferris State team. 2 back-to-back 3-0 victories in the playoffs. That's a feat to behold. And this Ferris State team is going to be riding high with a lot of momentum against Findlay. But Findlay is really strong. They have a chance, so I wouldn't count them out.
Final stats before you go to send you on your way. Bulldogs ousted the Lewis Flyers at their own game defensively. 7 total team blocks as opposed to 3 for Lewis. 78% side-out percentage in the third set. They were at 84 the set before. Ended with one of the lower marks in the season at 23.8 swing conversion percentage, but really didn't matter for the way that defense played. 4 solos, 2 for Henneman Delapi, 1 for Mott, 1 for Fairfield. Leader in digs for the Bulldogs, 15 for Violet, 13 for Mott. She was great as well defensively. 2 aces for Tecumseh, 2 for Wisser, 1 for Freeman, 1 for Bleacher, 1 for Nowicki. That's 7, only 5 errors. Big turnaround from yesterday. 24 assists for Mott, 5 for Wagner in that third set. Henneman Delapi, 11 kills on 33 attempts, 5 errors, leading the team in kills. 6 for Freeman, 4 for Fairfield, as well as Nowicki. Overall points leader, Henneman Delapi again with another dominant performance. 14 points individually, 5.5 as well for Cyan Fairfield. Claire Nowicki, 8 for Chelsea Freeman. She was great again. Piazza with 7. That gets you through Ferris State. The Lewis Flyers, overall swing percentage was at 0, just like they started. 25 kills, 25 errors on 113 total attacks. That's right, 25 errors. That really killed them at the end of the day. 25 errors is not going to win many games, especially if you're Lewis in that way that offense rolls.
I really think the Lewis Flyers, they had the times they needed to change, and they just really didn't. Ferris State was just really strong in each and every set, which was really important to kind of keep that consistency. And after that second set, something needed to change on the Flyers area, and they just didn't find that change. They only had 3 blocks for those first 2 sets, and they ended up with 3 blocks, so they didn't even improve on the defense. They didn't really improve on the offense when they really needed to against such a strong Ferris State team.
14 assists for Kazaroyski, only 6 for King. King was really off balance thanks to that Ferris State attack. A really talented setter for Coach Smith. 1 ace for Kazaroyski, 1 for Alvey, 1 for Stefanski. 29 receptions for Hickey. She also led with 19 digs, 2 assists each for Buxton as well as Januski. That gets you to your final tallies. Individual leader, 9 points for Stefanski, 8 as well for Bella Ray, 7 for Alvey. That will conclude our coverage. Ferris State moves on as they register win number 33 on the season and will await the 24-8 Findlay Oilers for the regional title fight tomorrow. 6 o'clock start here from Bulldog Arena in Big Rapids. We'll start our full sports coverage somewhere around 5:45 or 5:50. So we'll be on the lookout for that wherever you're finding this broadcast. We just can't wait to bring it to you. This is going to be a heavyweight fight. An old rivalry of conference foes is renewed with a trophy on the line. Doesn't get any better than this. For Brandon Worth, Ryan Pilon, and our entire Ferris State athletic staff, we'll say so long until tomorrow at 6 for the Oilers and the Bulldogs for the 2024 D2 Midwest Regional.